What if you could change everything? Not in a year, not in a month, but in a single day. Not by magic, not by luck, but by understanding one thing: you've been getting profoundly, painfully wrong about how change works. You see, you've been taught that fixing your life is a long, slow process of building new habits, stacking small wins, inching forward over years. And that belief is the very thing keeping you stuck. Because while you're waiting for that long, slow process to begin tomorrow, today is being stolen from you, hour by hour, choice by choice. The man staring at a blank screen at midnight, promising he'll start tomorrow. The woman with the gym bag packed by the door for a week, always too tired after work. The entrepreneur who studies every course but never launches the thing. They all share one corrosive belief: that tomorrow is the place where discipline begins. But tomorrow is a myth. It is a story we tell ourselves to make the inaction of today feel safe. And that story is costing you your life. This is not another motivational speech. This is an intervention, because there is a different way. A way that bypasses the years of false starts and goes straight to the core. It doesn't require you to change everything. It requires you to change one thing: what you do with the first hour of your day. There is a principle drawn from one of the most potent productivity philosophies ever developed that acts like a psychological lever. It says, if you have to eat a live frog, eat it first thing in the morning. And if you have to eat 2 frogs, eat the ugliest one first. Your frog is that one task you are most likely to procrastinate on, yet would have the greatest positive impact on your life. It's the call you don't want to make, the project you're afraid to start, the conversation you've been rehearsing in your head for months, for decades. This eat that frog rule has been taught as a time management trick, but that misses the point entirely. This is not about managing time. This is about commanding your own psychology. When you design a day, just one day, where you identify that frog and devour it before you check email, before you scroll, before you give your best energy to anyone else's agenda, something fundamental inside you breaks open. That single day becomes a forensic audit of your own avoidance. It is a controlled experiment in personal power. And the result of that experiment is not just a completed task. It is a shattered illusion, the illusion that you are not in control. This audiobook is the blueprint for that day. We are going to dismantle the myth of procrastination, not as laziness, but as a sophisticated fear-based identity protection system. We will walk, step by step, through the anatomy of that critical first hour, and we will expose how one victory earned before 10 a.m. can rewrite the script of your entire life. Not because you've fixed everything, but because you've proven to yourself that you can. The life you want is not on the other side of a year-long grind. It is on the other side of a single, deliberate, focused day. A day where you stop negotiating with your fears and start building your future from the first moment you are awake. This is how you fix your life in one day, not by doing everything, but by doing the one thing that changes everything else. Picture this. A man sits at his desk late at night. The room is quiet. His laptop is open. The task he promised himself he would finish today is still untouched. He feels tired, not from work, but from avoidance. He tells himself he will wake up earlier tomorrow. He closes the laptop and goes to bed with a familiar knot in his chest. That knot has a name. It is not guilt, it is grief. The quiet grief for the person you could have been today, but chose not to become. This scene repeats itself in different lives every single day. The tragedy is not that people fail. The tragedy is that they delay long enough to forget their own potential. This is about a single rule that can change that. A rule so simple it sounds like a child's game, yet so profound it rewires adult lives. It is called Eat That Frog. If you had to eat a live frog tomorrow morning, you would not delay. You would get it over with. And if you had 2 frogs, you would eat the ugliest one first. Your frog is your biggest, most important, most daunting task, the one you are most likely to procrastinate on. The rule is this: do not delay. Do it first. Let's meet Alex. Alex runs a small online business. Every morning, he faces the same internal war. His frog is reaching out to potential partners, a task that feels like rejection waiting to happen. So he starts his day with warm-up tasks: accounting, social media, answering easy emails. By noon, he's done a dozen things, but the frog remains. By 3 p.m., his energy is gone, and the thought of making those calls feels impossible. He pushes it to tomorrow. The business plateaus. His confidence erodes. He is busy, but he is not building. He is cleaning the house while the foundation cracks. Why does Alex's brain do this? It's not a flaw. It's a primitive protection system. Your brain is wired to avoid pain and seek pleasure. A big, difficult task registers as a threat of effort, of potential failure, of discomfort. So, your mind cleverly guides you towards smaller, easier tasks that give a quick hit of completion. You feel productive, but it's an illusion. You are being protected from the very work that would protect your future. The cost of this protection is your potential. Now, let's rebuild Alex's morning with the rule. The night before he decides his frog is making 3 partnership calls, he writes it down. 9 a.m., 3 calls, script ready. The next morning, he does not check email. He does not scroll. He goes straight to his phone. His heart races. His mind screams to check one notification first. He ignores it. He makes the first call. It goes to voicemail. He makes the second. A brief, polite rejection. He feels the urge to quit. But he makes the third. A 15-minute conversation that leads to a real opportunity. By 9:45 a.m., his workday is already a success. The heavy weight is gone. The knot in his chest is replaced by quiet confidence. The rest of his day is not a stressful scramble. It's a victory lap. This is not a productivity hack. It is a psychological recalibration. You are teaching your brain a new hierarchy. Purpose over comfort. When you complete your frog first, you win a profound inner victory. You prove to yourself that you are stronger than your resistance. This single victory sends a shock wave through your psyche. The mental chatter of guilt, the voice that nags you about unfinished work, falls silent. That silence is mental wealth. It creates space for clarity and calm for the rest of the day. Let's pause and do a mental exercise. Right now, think of the one task you've been avoiding. The one that, if someone did it for you, you feel a physical wave of relief. Don't name it yet. Just feel where the tension lives in your body when you think of it. Your chest? your stomach, your jaw. That tension is not your enemy. It is a compass. It is pointing directly at what matters most. Procrastination is what happens when you mistake that directional signal for a warning to stop. Now, identify your frog with brutal clarity. Ask, what is the one thing I could do tomorrow that would make the biggest positive impact on my life? It must be specific, not work on my health, but schedule the doctor's appointment and walk for 30 minutes. Not plan my business, but write the first page of the business plan. Write it down. This act of writing is a contract with your future self. Here is the subtle key most people miss. You do not need to feel ready to begin. Readiness is a myth sold by procrastination. Confidence is not the prerequisite for action. It is the product of it. Think of a muscle. You do not wait for strength to lift the weight. You lift the weight to create strength. In the same way, you do not wait for motivation to start your frog. You start your frog to create motivation. Your willpower is like a glass of clear water full each morning. Where will you pour it? If you pour it onto 100 small distractions, by the time you face your frog, the glass is empty. You're trying to tackle a giant task with only drops left. No wonder you fail. The strategy is backwards. You must take that full glass of pristine focus and pour it all directly onto your frog. Drown the thing in your undivided attention. Tonight, you will prepare. You will write down your frog. You will gather any materials you need. You will set your phone to Do Not Disturb for that first hour. You are not just planning a task. You are setting the stage for a new identity. Tomorrow morning, you will execute. You will wake up and feel the familiar pull of resistance. It will whisper, just check your email first. Just do this one quick thing. You will acknowledge the whisper, and you will not obey it. You will sit down. You will set a timer for just 5 minutes. You will begin. The first 5 minutes are the crucible. Your only job is to keep your hands moving. Write the terrible first sentence. Dial the first number. Open the blank document. Action feeds action. Momentum builds. By the time the timer goes off, you will likely want to continue because you have done the hardest part. You have broken the spell of starting. You have moved from the world of thought into the world of action. And in that world, fear weakens and clarity grows. When you finish, or even when you reach a clear milestone, you will stop. You will take one conscious breath. You will acknowledge, internally, I did the thing I set out to do. This moment is critical. You are wiring your brain for a new self-image. A person who does what matters. A person who can be trusted. This single day, built around this single rule, is your lever. Archimedes said, give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum, and I can move the world. Your frog is the lever. Your will to do it first is the fulcrum. This day is not about fixing everything. It is about proving that you can move what matters most. Tomorrow, when resistance returns, and it will, you will recognize its voice. It will sound familiar, almost boring, and you will know what to do. You will have the evidence of today. You will have proven to yourself that you are capable of starting. And starting, done consistently, is how you build a life that is no longer haunted by what if. It is how you trade the quiet grief of avoidance for the quiet confidence of action. You made a decision. You identified your frog, your single most important task, and you learned the rule. Do it first. That decision changes a day. But what we explore now changes a life. This is about what happens after you eat the frog. This is about the person you become when you make this a practice. Let's revisit Alex, but 6 months later, the morning calls are no longer a battle. They are a ritual. He doesn't feel heroic doing them. He feels normal. The resistance is still there, but it's faint, like background noise. His business has grown, not because of one miraculous deal, but because of the compound effect of daily, focused action. The bigger change, however, is internal. He no longer sees himself as someone who struggles with procrastination. He sees himself as someone who handles what matters. This shift in identity is everything. This is the hidden engine of the Eat That Frog principle. It is not a time management trick. It is an identity management system. Every action you take is a vote for the person you believe you are. When you delay your frog, you vote for, I am someone who avoids hard things. When you face it first, you vote for, I am someone who does what matters even when it's difficult. Your brain collects these votes. And when the votes consistently pile up on one side, your self-image changes to match the evidence. You stop asking, can I do this? You start knowing, I am someone who does this. This is how self-trust is built, not through intention, but through repeated proof. Let's go deeper into the psychology. Why is this so hard to sustain? Because procrastination is not laziness. It is often identity protection. Your mind works hard to maintain a story of yourself as capable and intelligent. A big, challenging task threatens that story with the risk of failure. So your mind, trying to protect you, creates delay. If I never really try, I never really fail. It's a shield, but that shield also blocks every opportunity for growth, for mastery, for the genuine confidence that only comes from overcoming difficulty. Eating the frog is the act of lowering the shield. It is saying, I choose growth over protection. Each time you do it, you are not just completing a task. You are quietly saying goodbye to an older, more fragile version of yourself. That can feel unsettling. But on the other side is a profound sense of alignment. The peace that comes when your actions match your aspirations. Now, let's meet Maya. Maya dreamed of writing a novel. For years, she called herself a writer, but the document was blank. She was a master of preparation, researching plots, buying fancy notebooks, telling friends about her idea. The actual writing was her frog. It felt too big, too sacred, too likely to reveal that she wasn't a real writer. Her procrastination was protecting her identity as a potential genius. Then she applied the rule with a twist. Her frog was not write a chapter. It was write for 25 minutes before doing anything else. She used a timer. The first morning, she wrote 3 terrible sentences, but she did it. The next day, a few more. She didn't focus on quality. She focused on showing up. After 2 weeks, something shifted. The 25 minutes became the best part of her day. The fear of being a fraud faded because she was no longer a spectator to her dream. She was a participant. Within a year, she had a draft. Her identity changed from someone who wants to write to a writer. The evidence was on the page. This is the process. Action creates evidence. Evidence shapes identity. Identity dictates future action. It's a positive feedback loop that starts with one courageous beginning. Let's address the inevitable obstacle, the bad day. You will have mornings where you fail, where the distraction wins, where you check your phone and an hour disappears. This is not failure, this is data. It means your environment was stronger than your intention. The solution is not self-criticism, it is better preparation. Make the right action easier and the wrong action harder. Delete social media apps from your phone at night. Leave your laptop open to the right document. Your willpower is finite. Your environment is constant. Design it to support your new identity. Now, we move to the most transformative level, what this does to your experience of time itself. Procrastination stretches time into a painful, anxious wait. A task avoided for weeks occupies mental space every single day, draining your energy with a low hum of guilt. Action compresses time. The task that haunted you for a month might take 2 hours to complete. The suffering was never in the doing, it was in the delaying. When you consistently eat your frog, you begin to experience time as something you direct, not something that chases you. Your days feel cleaner. Your rest feels deeper and more earned because it is not poisoned by the shadow of unfinished work. You stop living with a perpetual sense of behindness. Let's do a final powerful visualization. Close your eyes for a moment as you listen. Picture your life as a path. Look behind you and see the years of hesitation, of half starts, of I'll do it tomorrow. See the weight of that. Now, look down at your feet. There is one solid stone step right in front of you. That step is today's frog. You do not need to see the entire path to the horizon. You only need to step onto this one stone. Feel its solidity. Trust that it will hold you. Now, take that step. That is the act of starting. As you do, feel the shift. The path behind you feels lighter. The path ahead feels accessible, one step at a time. This is how you travel, not by leaping canyons, but by taking the single important step that is right in front of you first. This practice, over time, leads to a quiet kind of mastery. Mastery is not about brilliance or perfection. It is about reliability. You become reliable to yourself. This reliability becomes the foundation of everything: your work, your relationships, your inner peace. You stop over-explaining and over-preparing. You begin, and beginning becomes your default setting. So, what is the final outcome? It is not a fixed life where all problems are solved. It is a life faced, a life where you are no longer running from your own potential, a life led from a place of alignment, where your first daily action is a declaration of what you value most. You will never eliminate resistance completely, and you don't need to. The goal is not a life without friction. The goal is to move forward with the friction present. Discipline is not the absence of resistance. It is the decision made in its presence. Tomorrow, when you feel that familiar pull to delay, smile inwardly. That resistance is your signal. It means you are about to do something meaningful. Sit down. Begin, even slowly, especially slowly. Let the work carry you forward. Your life does not need to be fixed in a day. It needs a new direction, and direction is set by what you do first. You have everything you need. The rule is simple. The frog is clear. The choice is always today. Take a deep breath. Carry this calm with you. Let it guide your next beginning. You are not behind. You are not broken. You were simply distracted from what mattered. Now you remember. If this helped you think differently, imagine what consistent listening can do. Subscribe for more applied wisdom. Like and share this audio with someone ready to stop procrastinating and start moving forward.